The Cold War era from Warzone 1 is one of my personal favorites, and I got to revisit it as part of my challenge to win a game with every single meta in the history of Warzone, but it's in 2024 on Warzone 3. This challenge has just been an absolute blast. It's been really hard at times, but what's been fun is we've actually stumbled into some like secret metas, some undiscovered, just insane builds. So we've been having so much fun with it over on my live stream on Twitch. If you want to swing by there, I've got part one where I did the Modern Warfare 2019 slash Verdansk era. I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video. But basically, we just put together loadouts with each meta. If the gun is no longer in the game, we just did our absolute best to replicate it from an aesthetic, design, and even a little bit of research into the history of these real-world counterparts to these video game guns, and came up with kind of the best option to emulate that. First and certainly least, we had the DMR meta revisited. The SO14 is the same gun. I hated the DMR 14 meta. I love Warzone. I love Call of Duty BR. The only break I've ever taken from it, all the way back to the beginning of Blackout, was during the DMR meta. Can't stand this thing. True to form, trying to get a gameplay with this SO14 was miserable. This is not one of those secret metas we talked about. Unless you're trying to do the same challenge I did, would definitely not recommend trying to use this thing. Basically just tried to make it look and feel as much like the original DMR as I possibly could. Luckily, we were able to pair that with an absolute banger. The Red Room Milano, one of my personal favorites. Whether I was solo quadding, whether I was doing some of my world record win streaks in Warzone 1, I would land at Warden's house in Rebirth Island, go to the basement, snag the Red Room Milano, and I would run it practically all game. So I just tried to put together a build that looked and felt just like that Red Room Milano blueprint. It was a ton of fun, and this thing is actually insanely strong. You're going to see in the gameplay, it absolutely beams. You can basically use it for everything. So if you want to run like a specialty gun, like a one-shot sniper, maybe an MORS, maybe a riot shield, I actually think this thing could fit into the meta. Totally insane, awesome range, awesome recoil. I'll catch you guys in the gameplay for this DMR with Milano. I think I have to take this. If I lose, I lose.
Adjusting prices. Got gas moving in. Kill confirmed. We located the rest of them. Incoming. Oh, shoot.
This thing has no business being this fucking good. It's actually really good.
This is the end game.
Off a heady. It's just good. It's a good fucking gun. I think this might be my favorite that I've used yet. For any of them. Dude, I didn't know about that ladder on the other side of this. I gotta play height here, but I'm worried I'm gonna get held from like that. Maybe I need to move these betties. Did he like fall off?
A couple contractors out there have increased payouts. Get to them first to cash out. You have a buy station inbound.
Where did they come from? What the fuck?
I'm coming.
Buy station is available.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Time left. Keep the pressure on. Gas is closing in.
Active fire mission. Target marked.
Got 4 remaining. Stay sharp.
Let's go! Would not be much of a Cold War themed video if I didn't include the MAC-10. For that, we rocked the Swarm, which actually has a nasty TTK up close. The Fortress Heavy Stock helps give it that laser beam recoil, kind of like the MAC-10 originally had. We're rocking the Irons just because that's the OG MAC-10 vibe. Everything else is just to kind of give it better movement, better range. The original MAC-10, man, you know, it had just as broken of a TTK as any other sub, but it was just insane how good the recoil was for like an 1100 RPM sub, not to mention insane movement speed. So this thing is definitely a shade of its former self, but it was fun to use for that nostalgia factor. And we paired that with the XM4, the Jack Patriot conversion kit for the M16. It basically just turns it into a better version of the M4. I used the actual M4 on my MW 2019 Verdansk era challenge video. So just to mix it up, we ran the Patriot kit. It's definitely a lot better than the M4. It rips. The TTKs are insane. I got a crazy clutch for you guys with these two guns, and you'll see how powerful they can be utilized properly. V4.
Enemies dropping into the AO. This is it. Do or die.
Whoa, this thing kills so fast. What the fuck? Huh! Let's go, baby. Next up, we've got possibly my favorite gun from the Cold War era, the FFAR. The FR Avancer, exact same gun. Unfortunately, it's not quite what it used to be. TTKs are decent, so you can shred people if you hit good shot placement, and it's cool that it looks like the FFAR. It's got similar irons, but man, the movement speed is just terrible, and the handling. I don't know why they don't just bless this thing with some cracked strafe speed, decent sprint speed just to make it feel like that OG FFAR. It still wouldn't be meta. It's usable though with the good TTKs. My face cam is covering the FR Giga. Had to use that attachment. It's actually really good. It massively reduces the sprint to fire, which this thing desperately needed. But it's a decent gun. I don't know that it's even viable though without better movement, but it's certainly usable. I had to throw the quartermaster suppressor on there, by the way, because otherwise the recoil is just like out of control, especially with iron sights. And we paired that with the AUG, right? 4-round burst, DG56, very similar in the vein of the OG AUG, which was an insane meta, by the way. I feel like with some of the desync in this game, you'd send over 2 or 3 volleys of that 4-round burst, and your target would like explode without even being able to react. So it's like you get the best of both worlds of like a sniper type playstyle, and you could shred people mid-range. Just a crazy meta. It was super fun at the time. This build is surprisingly effective. Like the DG56 is still quite strong. Not quite meta, but in the right hands, this thing is very, very, very powerful. And you can get some of those insanely fast TTKs if you are pinpoint accurate with your bursts. That's why we're running the ammo type and the barrel just to push that bullet velocity as far as we can. We got the quartermaster to tighten those burst spreads so that our shots are pinpoint accurate. I'll catch you guys in the gameplay for this one. It was a fun one. I swing far right here, I think. Damn.
Aquí hay munición.
The pinch is real.
Lo van a rodear. Tenemos gente.
Warzone. Stay alert. Right near your location. You're losing ground. Move it.
No, verga.
You made it to the top 5.
Aquí está, güey. No, no mames.
Oh! FFAR and AUG are back! This next one may be a sleeper hit even in the current meta. This thing is absolutely insane. Laser beam, decent TTKs. It's just overall awesome. One of my favorite ARs in the game, which I hadn't even used since Warzone 2. We replicated the Krig, which is basically the exact same firearm as this Lockman 5.56. And wow, I tell you what, man, we got the Choreo Eagle Eye on there to emulate the axial arms from back in Cold War. We threw the Bruin Pivot vertical grip on there to look like the Field Agent grip. And it's just an absolute beam. Really reminds me of that OG Krig, which was meta for a while, man. The Krig probably had the least recoil in the history of Warzone, but this Lockman 5.56 comes close, and it shreds. The TDKs are not bad. They're actually quite strong for how low the recoil is on this thing. I definitely think you should consider giving this a try, even today. If you're a high skill player, aim for the head. If you're a low skill player, you're going to love that this thing has like no recoil, super easy to use, we paired it with our best attempt to emulate the OTS 9. The Vaznev from Warzone 2 has a similarly slick YY animation, and kind of similar on the iron sights. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think it's about as similar as you can get in this modern Warzone to the OTS 9. So it was super fun to use, but man, the gem of this loadout was that Lockman 556. It was incredible. Check it out.
Come on, I'm saying y'all come back over here, nigga. Oh, look. Man, fuck, come get me, come on. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Shut up. There you go, pass, don't bring it in.
No, nigga, shut up. They're all in here.
Now they put down a cluster in there.
Look better like that. Get him up.
So his ass on the phone. You freaking need to
Have increased payouts. Get to them first to cash out. Solid work evading the enemy. You're clear for now.
No, what? Oh my God, bro.
fucking go, man.
Oh! What? This next one was insane to revisit. Probably my personal strongest meta in the history of Warzone. Warzone Ranked used to keep track of all the advanced stats and rank people by them. And I actually led the world in kill-death ratio with this loadout for that season. So just an insane nostalgia trip for me. The MG82, which we recreated by putting the 5.56 rounds on the TAC Evo. Really unique. It was just so much fun to put together. And this build shreds. It's actually really, really, really strong. And I paired that with my baby, the LAPA. I miss it so much. The closest thing we could think of in the current game to the OG LAPA. Man, only real ones are going to remember the LAPA, by the way. So let me know down in the comments if you remember the LAPA as fondly as I do. Anyway, we had the DG58, which with its Jack Nightshade conversion kit. It's got that carrying handle on the top like the LAPA had. It absolutely shreds like the LAPA did. You cannot achieve the insane strafe speeds that you could with the right build on the LAPA. But we'll take it. It was still a ton of fun to use and actually like insanely strong. This thing handles decent enough and kills faster than meta sub, so I think it's worth considering running even in the current meta. My face cam is covering the 5GN TAC comb as the 5th attachment. And check out this nasty clutch with my favorite loadout of all time, or at least the replica of it.
Gas is inbound. Squads in the top 5.
They have control to buy. That sucks.
Milkman buy an airstrike, put it right up.
Be advised, UAV is exiting the area.
3v1.
Hostile hunter strike near your position.
God damn it. I'm dead, bro.
Contracts are in play.
What?
Finish your mission. Take them down.
Such an awkward fucking fight. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. The EM2 was probably my favorite AR from the Cold War era. A low fire rate, high damage per mag, bullpup rifle. The closest thing to it in the current game was the TR-76 Geist, and this thing is a beast. It hits really hard. It has manageable recoil. Definitely not meta, but it was super fun to use, and with this build, felt at least vaguely like the EM2 that we all know and love. We paired that with the Bullfrog. It felt just like the OG Bullfrog. It really does, the mini Bach. I mean, it's essentially the same gun. It feels really good, so fun to use, especially in like public matches. Definitely not meta though. Terrible TTK.
Friendly buy station deployed.
¿Te revives o no, creo? Ahí está, ya se robó. ¿Viste? Ajo. Pues son como... aquí está uno, aquí está uno, aquí está uno, aquí está uno.
Deployable buy station is
Ahí, ahí.
Why are they doing this?
No mames.
I'm gonna fucking die to these fucking morons, dude.
Ya me vi.
Every game today, I feel like I'm just getting griefed to shit.
Sí, güey. ¿Dónde está? Ah, aquí no.
Look at this kid. He's a fool.
Ah, tenía otro.
Warzone.
Their whole team did that shit to me.
Aquí están, güey.
Brother.
Corre, corre, corre. Oh, pinche ataque, güey.
Ahí está, estás en humo, estás en humo. Que no ya la tiene el güey.
Más que él,
Sí.
más que él.
Cómpralos, cómpralos. Ya, tienda que sí, compra estos güeyes.
Time's almost up. Finish the mission.
Ya,
Ya vale ver el güey, sí.
¿Ponta?
Ah, mató a Serio, güey. No mames, me los mortales, güey.
Yes!
No enemy movement detected.
Wow! That's a wrap for the Cold War era of Warzone 1, one of my favorites. This was a pleasure. Probably my personal favorite was this Lockman 556 build, which was meant to represent the Krig. It was just awesome. Highly recommend you give it a try. Next up in the series will be the Caldera era. I need you guys to give me suggestions down in the comments because it's going to get a little weird. We got to figure out how to recreate some of these Vanguard guns in the current game. It ain't going to be easy, but I'm going to do my best effort to get it done. Got a couple of guns I want to cover in just like basic loadout videos. But probably today on my live stream, I will be getting to work on the Caldera era. So pull up if you want to see that. Feedback is greatly appreciated down in the comments. I read all the comments. You guys are awesome. Likes, shares, all that good stuff, of course, helps my platform. No pressure though. And if you're new around here, definitely consider subbing. We would love to have you in the Giga fam. And not to keep promoting my live stream, but I am a firm believer that it is like one of the most wholesome, community-oriented streams in all of gaming. I mean, Giga fam, we look out for each other. We do stuff together. I will soon be getting after it with some community nukes again, and we got some really fun ways to implement it. For those of you who don't know, I have the most nuke carries in the world. All that stuff is done through my Twitch live stream. Links down in the description. Would love for some of you guys to pull up. If you do, make sure you say hi and let me know you came from the YouTube. We will give you the warmest of welcomes. Regardless, I love you so much, my Giga fam. Hope you enjoy this content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.